Hello and welcome to the Merle and Locke podcast. I'm Merle.
And I'm Locke.
Set sail and low expectations for everything nerd, accompanied by healthy, albeit shameful help with pointless banter, lack of focus, and questionably acquired knowledge.
And more!
Now, to start us off here, Locke, you have a topic for us today that you wanted to start us off, so go ahead. Let's see.
It was a funny little conversation that I was having, and I know that you do it too, in regards to things like, since we've been playing Baldur's Gate a lot recently, other games like that, how we tend to walk around and explore every ounce of the map.
Okay. Like how thorough we are with these RPGs.
I know not everyone's the same. You got ones who just want to go around for the story, but I like to search every nook and cranny for other secrets. Now, I don't like to cheat and get on YouTube first and see what everybody else found. No, I want to be the one that found that.
No, I get that. I get that completely.
Yeah. I don't know. It just amazes me that I know you and I are that way. Nobody else seems to for whatever reason. Not that I'm making fun of people who don't like to search every ounce of the map, but it's like something that just gets ingrained in you when you start. I guess whenever we first started playing games like Diablo, for example, when I first started playing that, I would search almost every nook and cranny, finding all these bosses hidden away that aren't really told. Like, you don't figure that out through the gameplay necessarily. Now, I wasn't one that talked to every single character, but I definitely would search every crate, every box, every chest.
Yeah, like looting is just one of my favorite bits about, some of these RPGs. I could just spend hours looting through every single box that I see. Because I just want all the loot. Like, I don't care what it is, I want it.
Right.
But the thing that I love about, especially, now that we've been playing Baldur's Gate 3, it's one of those things where, like, I am still thorough with the looting. Like, I will always be. I mean, there's no getting around it. But the thing I love about Baldur's Gate 3 is, like, there's a path you can take, right? Like, you have an objective, there's a point that you need to get to, and there's missions all over the place. I mean, I know there's this overarching, storyline, but it doesn't necessarily push you in that direction. It'll hint at it, like yeah, you've got this goal, but there's lots of ways you can get to it. Go about doing it, and that's what I love. And I mean, every single area that I go into, I need to explore it in its entirety and see everything, all the little different elements that are going on around me, and all the little things I can get into. These little mini storylines that are going on, or these little activities, these interesting characters that are doing something goofy. And I just want to talk to them and see what's going on, see if I can participate in any way.
Yeah.
And so, like Baldur's Gate 3, it's going to take me forever. It's, I don't know if I'm ever going to be able to complete it, because there's just all this crap I'm getting into.
We kind of let the ADHD take over, and we just wander off. People go, all right, we're in the search of this, and you start heading out that way, and suddenly you're making a left turn because you saw a shiny object and a goblin running off, and you're like, ooh, gotta get it.
We were actually playing last night, and we were playing with our buddy, old Demented, and we were getting into, some pretty bad things, because, we're the characters that we made for this one playthrough that we've been playing is yourself and Demented are both drow, but both dark elves, which are notoriously, assholes. Yeah. So like they're very, if you've
Stuck
ever
up?
read,
Maybe. Yeah.
if you've ever read like the Legend of Drizzt and
Which I have not.
well, right, it's written by what is his name, R.A. Salvatore, I think, which is like an incredible series to get into if ever you're looking into like reading more about like the Forgotten Realms and whatnot, like D&D type stuff. It's an amazing book series, and I would highly recommend it. But everything, like nobody likes or everybody fears the Drow elves. And when we got into one conversation, I said to Locke, I was like, just remember who you are, because like the thing I like to do when we play RPGs, especially together, is like, play your character. Don't play you.
Right.
Play your character.
Right.
So I was thinking going into this I don't want to give any spoilers to the game, but he was having a conversation with this antagonist in this certain area, and the antagonist was threatening to do.
They were threatening a child. Let's just put it that way. That's enough
Right.
for me to make a stance, right?
Yeah. So this antagonist was saying like, oh, this child did something wrong. We need to punish them for what they had done. And I was like to Locke, I was like, okay, play your character, don't play you. Play your character. What would your character say? And there's so many like options or dialogue options you can go through and what have you. And when I said that originally, I was thinking that Locke knew kind of like what I was talking about, how the Drow elves are, where they're like, they're they're very strict, or like where I was thinking that maybe you would play it off and be like, no, yes, the child needs to be punished for what they've done, that kind of thing.
And instead, I prepped my weapons and I attacked this.
Yeah, you decided to just go like full murder hobo.
I was pretty sure that's what you meant. That's what I heard. I heard kill them all.
Yeah, I was like, that's not exactly what I meant, but okay, because we all made the agreement. We were like, we're rolling with the punches. We're not like save scumming or anything. We're just playing it through. We have to.
Whatever we mess up, we mess up.
Yeah, we just have to roll with it, and yes, a lot of NPCs died that day.
A lot of deaths.
Yeah, yes, that was madness, but I got to roll with it, and we had a lot of fun.
My drow is not upset. She's okay with it. She accepts her consequences.
Oh, and that child still didn't make it. Even though we went full murder hobo on the antagonist and her people.
I didn't say she was trying to save the child either. So
That's true. You never.
I said nothing other than you wanted to see me, and then prepped my weapon and attacked, and that was it.
Yep. Other than that, okay. So I did want to go back to the point you were making about exploring different things constantly. One thing that I like about Baldur's Gate, once again, is like you get an objective, right? Like there was just one point in the game where I got an objective. I was told I had to like take some people out, and these areas were like heavily populated, and I was like, how the heck am I going to accomplish this? Then I just put it off on the wayside, and I was like, I'm just going to explore. So I just explored the entire area, like looking every which way, and like not necessarily looking for in ways in which to, eliminate these targets, but it was just being curious about everything and looking around. And I ended up like helping certain people get out of trouble that told me that they were indebted to me for this, that, or the other reason. I did other activities which distracted a bunch of people away from certain areas that would actually help me in eliminating certain targets. And like I just started like exploring and doing all these different things until like everything fell in line, and I was like, oh, this is actually going to be pretty easy now, you know, to take out these targets. And it's really cool. Like, I love they've developed this game and encourages you to, you know, just explore and you know, poke around every little spot.
Right.
You know, it's like I mean, you could, if you wanted to, you could just go like we did with the Drow characters, is just go full murder hobo, but
Right.
it allows you to, you know, not have to do that. Like, you could be more, I don't want to say like intelligent about your approach, but
Right.
more, you know, I don't know, just explore it more, and like things just line up easier.
Yeah.
You know, everything gets easier the more you explore.
Right. I know that Baldur's Gate is going to keep me distracted for a while, as far as wanting to not only explore all around the map, find all the goodies that I can so that I remember for later times when I'm playing as other characters, then I won't have to search around as much. So on the one that I'm doing by myself, I am doing a lot of searching around, trying to grab every potion I can, get as much XP as I can. And so my next playthroughs, I can just go there, grab it, go.
Right.
It makes it a little easier on myself. It just means that my first playthrough is going to take me forever to finish.
No, I think that's important. Like, your first playthrough just needs to be very experimental and explorative, you know? Yeah, you gotta get, like, because you can't get your first playthrough back.
Yeah.
It's your first playthrough. You gotta like do it without like pure, right?
Right.
Pure. Explore. Don't look up crap on the internet, you know, to get you through certain puzzles. Just like go all in and figure it out for yourself and get like the full enjoyment. Because like if you want 100% it later on, I mean, you can do that another playthrough.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
You can't get that first run through back.
Yeah. So games like God of War, where you had to search every nook and cranny for these chests to get everything that you need to level up. So now it's just, I keep doing it. What else? Fable did the same thing. I had to search everywhere to get every goodie that would help me get stronger. Some great games.
Fable's a good one, man.
I actually had told Jane Doe, I said, if you enjoyed Baldur's Gate like you have been, I think you'd enjoy Fable. Like, they were all good. I mean, I didn't play some of the really new ones, but I played from Fable 1 to Fable 3, and I enjoyed them all.
Fable 1 is definitely the best.
Yeah.
It's the only one that I've, because like 2 and 3, like I know people talk crap on them. Like I enjoyed them a lot, but admittedly, the only one I've gone back to multiple times is the first one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can never get it out of my head being called a chicken chaser. Just
yeah.
It is something that lives in my head rent free, and I think back to Fable and I'm like, the fondest of memories.
We were having this conversation earlier too. If you're talking about like your love of Baldur's Gate 3, I love the Divinity series, Divinity 1 and 2, and I was like, because I didn't know that you would love Baldur's Gate so much.
Right.
And it kind of like, I was kind of disappointed in the fact that I hadn't invited you to play Divinity with me, because it's very close, you know, it's like the same kind of gameplay and everything.
So does it use the same D&D features as Baldur Gate does?
So it does for the most part, but it doesn't directly tie itself to D&D. It doesn't like show the D20 die and roll it, and so it's not little novelty things. It doesn't do that because, you know, it's not. I don't. They didn't get like the licenses to, you know, be able to relate to Dungeons and Dragons, you know, from the Wizards of the Coast. I don't think, but it was its own world, and it was very, very similar to like a Dungeons and Dragons adventure, but it didn't have the direct line to it, I suppose you could say. But yeah, I enjoyed those a lot, and I mean, I don't even know if we could go back to them because of how long it's going to take us to finish Baldur's Gate.
It's going to take us forever.
Yeah. So I don't know if we'll ever get around to going back to Divinity.
I will say that once upon a time, I couldn't say that I would have been all for it initially. I think what kind of sparked the interest in kind of playing it was once I started doing D&D sessions with you and our group. Then I kind of found an interest to kind of mold a character and play around with it, seeking every avenue that I can, depending on the character that I've chosen. I don't like to go out of character if I can, and every time, say, I choose a bad route, just I want to be bad boy right now, and then I get an option of a line that I think would be interesting to choose, but it's out of character. So now I got to go back, recreate a character who's somewhat like that, but doesn't quite agree with everything as the other one. It's killer on
worst?
me. My Star Wars: The Old Republic, same way.
Yeah.
I got full on evil. I got neutral evil. I got partially evil. I got neutral.
It's painful because like sometimes it do be like that. We're like sometimes you're playing like a good guy playthrough, and you're like, ooh, I kind of want to be naughty.
Right. It's almost too good, and you're like, this would be a perfect time to.
I do love how things work out differently sometimes. There's so much variety in the dialogue that if you want to go back to a point and make a different decision, sometimes it doesn't line up right because like it seems like all these conversations like evolve differently sometimes depending on like all the choices that you had made prior, and it's pretty interesting. I mean I like kudos to Larian Studios and what they've created. I mean those guys are amazing. Big props to them. I need to support them however I can. They're beautiful people.
Right now we are supporting them with our praise.
Yeah.
Very well made game. We are happy so far, and we are barely halfway through. I can only.
I don't even think we're halfway. There's no way.
Have you reached Act 2 yet? I know
Nope.
I haven't. Yeah, so
I have not.
I guarantee we are not even halfway through.
I think my last time I checked on Steam, I was like, about probably close to 50 hours of playtime already, and I'm still in like Act 1.
Right.
So, I mean, there's potentially a lot of time that can be put into that game.
I've put about 33 hours into the game thus far.
Yeah.
And
bad. Well, it's a good thing we don't really, for the most part, have social lives.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah. So, I mean, I don't go out and do stuff.
What is out? What is the great outdoors?
What is this outside you speak of?
Grass? I've never heard of it.
Chris. Never touched it.
Never touched it.
Thank you for joining us on the Marlin Lock podcast. If you enjoyed this banter, please consider becoming a patron by going to patreon.com/merleandlock or simply follow the link in the description. Thank you.